Do you remember all those times you spent arguing with your brother and sister? Unless, I mean, you're an only child, which if you are, good for you. But for those who've had siblings, you obviously love them, but you probably shared your bothersome and maybe even a little bit of torture from them. So we shared that bothersome in this movie called Coupe De Ville, where you have three brothers who get crammed into a 1956 Coupe De Ville and have to travel 1,300 miles to be able to see their father. I knew about this movie since I was a kid because my mom owned it on VHS, so it's kind of one of those movies I grew up with. And as I grew up, I realized it was actually kind of a rarity because it's not that well known. And she actually had to buy this online on DVD. Because of this, I wanted to almost make a video about it. To start off, this is one of those cliche road trip comedies where they travel across the country and a lot of shenanigans happen. So pretty much like National Lampoon films, Road Trip, Wild Hogs, Dutch, Johnson's Family Vacation, Little Miss Sunshine, Due Date, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, RV, Tommy Boy, Bustin' Loose, Are We There Yet? It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Cannonball Run, We're the Millers, Identity Theft, Dumb and Dumber, Blues Brothers, Rat Race, Joe Dirt, Blunt Man of Chronic Strike Back, Sex Drive, Detroit Rock City, Joyride, The Hitcher, and oh yeah, I forgot I said comedies. But this one I think is my personal favorite out of that little subgenre. And with this movie not doing so hot at the box office when it first came out, it's kind of a shame because this movie, aside from its humor, it's great. The story is well written. I actually care about these characters in the end of the movie. Okay, so here's the case. You can see the three brothers riding in the car. And they look pretty happy for them being brothers. Nice looking Coupe de Ville. Then obviously we have Alan Arkin as the dad. You should probably know him from Little Miss Sunshine. And all about being brothers. Now the thing I think is weird, I do like the plastic on the case, but there's something I noticed with this DVD, and for whatever reason there's a barcode on the front. Like what could you possibly use with that barcode? You have to scan the case. And not the DVD. What use would you have of scanning the DVD? You have to open up the case. For the brothers, you have Bobby, Buddy, and Marvin. I'm not sure what happened to Buddy, but Bobby went to become a doctor, and Marvin went to go pursue his career in criminal activities, and ended up stepping along the wrong guy. These actors that are playing them seem like real brothers, and even the dad, Alan Arkin, can play a great dad. I mean, look at when he was in Little Miss Sunshine, he played the perfect elderly dad. And everything that he says and he does reacts perfectly to how every typical dad usually is. And he reacts exactly how you think your own father would react into the events that happen in this film. The humor is highly relatable as well. It doesn't really feel forced, and there's not really awkward moments where they try to put a little one-liner inside a very dramatic moment. It feels very fluent. It feels very realistic. It almost seems like somebody was telling you a story, looking back on a funny moment that happened. And it may not have been funny then, but when you look back at it, or if you're watching something like a dramatization of it, it actually seems really hilarious. Let me just say, the separate actors that were the kid versions of these older brothers were almost precise to what you would think they were the same people. Because whoever was the casting director did a hell of a job. You can tell that they understood what the writer was getting at, which was creating these separate characters with their own style and their own personality. And then so when they were looking for younger kids, they just said their lines almost exactly how you would expect them, just as a younger kid version. And they looked almost identical. I mean, I was like shocked. It's probably the best since like probably Forrest Gump or anything of that nature. Honestly, there's not a whole lot else to say about this movie. I mean, like I said, it's just kind of like a typical comedy, and it seems really realistic towards the comedic moments and the serious moments, so where you really care about these characters and what happens to them. If you ever get a chance to watch this movie either online somehow or purchasing it online, like I say with anything else, give it a shot. I mean, what could hurt? And this movie will remind you that after everything that you have that has come and gone, no matter what you have, you will always have family.